Ye old toast.
Ye old Willie.
Ye oldie-timey.
Ye old country lemonade stand.
Ye old gas gauge.
At the Ye Old Williamsburg Watering Hole Restaurant.
Ye oldie bookie trovey.
Ye old pump house, is that?
Ye old college diner.
Ye old commencement ceremony is about to commence.
Ye old intermission.
Yep, you okay?
Yep.
Yep.
God, those people need to learn you can't just put ye old in front of anything you want and expect to get away with it.
It's Scott, right?
Yes, it's Scott.
Prodigal Scot.
Irish Scott.
Scott.
Scott!
It's Scott.
Ye old?
Scott.
Yeah, that works.
But why?
Because he's a Scot.
Fauchagoo Ye Old Scots Celtic Podcast. Today in Fecamich Beck and Gaelic, Lesson 25, expressing likes and dislikes. In Celtic history, the assassination of James I of Scotland. This entire podcast is a parody. If you're easily offended, this isn't for you. Today's broadcast brought to you by Knitter. Romance, uniquely for you.
Do you live alone on a remote island off the coast of Ireland or Scotland? Do you want a lasting relationship with someone of similar interests? Well, try Knitter. It's like Tinder or Grindr, but especially designed for you. Finally get to enjoy activities with that special someone. Get to know that special someone who may have been as close as your own backyard. And if you get a little horny, oops, that's none of our business. Soon you will enjoy the rich, full life your morals and standards have kept you from. Knitter. Why the hell not?
There's a wee thing, especially for you older members of the audience who've got your families all grown up working, but they're still staying at home with you. And we actually are going to tell you a story we got from a man in a pub we met last week. Now, we went into this pub, and you can always tell the husband who's going through this stage because he's standing there on his own. He's been forced out again. Oh, aye. Standing there with his elbows on the bar, and he's got the haggard look with the big bags under the eyes. Oh, yes, the hair's all over the place, the bowed shoulders, and you can always tell him he's got a double whiskey in that hand and a pint of heavy in that hand. He just doesn't know where the hell to start. You know what I mean? Anyway, what we're going to do is tell you his story exactly as he told it to us that night. You ready, Maestro? So I went up to the bar, I said, Reg, give me a whiskey and I'll join this man. I went up to him and said, here, you look awfully sad. What's your problem? He says, he says, it's the kids. He says, you know, as I stand over here in the bar with a beer and I think on the years of my life, I was never a fool. I did quite well at school. Then there was college, a job, and a wife. Now, when the children came along, life was really a song. They were good kids, as far as I could see. But now that they're grown, they treat the house as their own. And there's two of them bigger than me. And he sang, home has certainly changed, where the kids and the stereo play, where seldom is heard an intelligent word, 'cause the radio's blaring all day. It's nice to be among kindred spirits. I said, you know, it can't be that bad. He says, it is. He had a wee sip of his whiskey. He said, you know, the kids, they sit in my seat and they tap me for cash, and it seems that the phone's never free. There's dirty cups on the carpet and half-full mugs in the hall, and there's crumbs where the biscuits should be. They've got their top of the pops and the old grey whistle test, the Chinese detective and David So. I can't stand fame, I don't know who's to blame, I just don't have the remotest control. And he sang, home has Try it if you like.
Where the kids in the stereo play.
Where the kids and the stereo play.
Where seldom is heard.
Where seldom is
an intelligent word. Cause the radio blaring all day.
Oh, so sad. Says what with their personalised stereos and rings in boys' ears, leather jackets and bright coloured hair. I'd like to escape, get out for a wee run, but the big lad has borrowed my car. They've just had their friends in. There were quite a few there, and the hi-fi so loud I can't think. They finished the coffee and we've run out of tea, and they've had my whiskey, so I can't take to drink. No. Oh, home has certainly changed.
Where the kids in the stereo play.
Where the kids and the stereo.
Where seldom is heard. Where seldom is an intelligent. Cause the radio blaring.
Mind you, life does have its compensations, because he downed his whiskey and he finished his pint. A twinkle came back in his eye. He stood back in the bar, he squared his shoulders and he said, you know, as I stand over here in the bar with my beer, between strangers and a loud space machine, it's becoming quite clear I'm not being fair when I think how the kids could have been. Oh yes, because they do clean out the car and they work hard at their jobs. They cut the grass and they help with the tea. Oh, you know, really, I'm lucky, because they're fit and they're well and they're home where we all want to be. And then he changed his song and he sang, oh, home has suddenly changed, where the kids and the stereo play. No more will be heard a discouraging word, cause we'd miss them if they went away.
Scottish Gaelic is native to the Gaels of Scotland. Scottish Gaelic developed out of the Old Irish, and learning this beautiful language can be a direct link to your Gaelic ancestors. Follow along in Fecamich Becken Gaelic, and like I said, let's try a little Gaelic.
Vagina. Alright class, pay attention. The Gaelic words for vagina: Crotak, Fayan, and Gobak.
Oh my god.
Ooh, yeah, that's right, right there, baby.
God. Really?
Holy hell. Looks like 2 eggs in an old handkerchief.
Our intrepid sex ed teacher had to learn to deal with what he had learned over Christmas. Running the gamut of shock, perversion, more shock, and even greater perversion.
I've done some in-depth study on this topic, and here's what I found. Now sit down, class. The Gaelic words for penis: bod, penis; clúgan, for male genitalia; Donal, do, for little black Donny. Isn't that cute? Class dismissed. Oh, bloody hell, not these guys again.
Well, a Scotsman clad in kilt left the bar one evening fair, and one could tell by how he walked that he'd drunk more than his share. He fumbled round until he could no longer keep his feet, and he stumbled off into the grass to sleep beside the street. Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-D-O, ring-da-diddle-I-O, he stumbled off into the grass to sleep beside the street. About that time 2 young and lovely girls just happened by. One says to the other with a twinkle in her eye, see yon sleeping Scotsman so strong and handsome built, I wonder if it's true what they don't wear beneath the kilt. Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-D-O, ring-da-diddle-I-O, I wonder if it's true what they don't wear beneath the kilt. They crept up on that sleeping Scotsman quiet as could be, lifted up his kilt about an inch so they could see. And there, behold, for them to view beneath his Scottish skirt was nothing more than God had graced him with upon his birth. Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-O, ring-da-diddle-I-O, was nothing more than God had graced him with upon his birth. They marveled for a moment, then one said, we must be gone. Let's leave a present for our friend before we move along. As a gift they left a blue silk ribbon tied into a bow. Around the bonny star the Scots kilt did lift and show. Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-O, ring-da-diddle-I-O, around the bonny star the Scots kilt did lift and show. Now the Scotsman woke to nature's call and stumbled towards the trees. Behind the bush he lifts his kilt and gawks at what he sees. And in a startled voice he says to what's before his eyes, oh, lad, I don't know where you've been, but I see you won first prize. Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-O, ring-da-diddle-I-O, oh, lad, I don't know where you've been, but I see you won first prize.
Celtic history brings you the tales of the land, castles, warriors, heroes, legends, and customs that have created the rich, vibrant, and sometimes strange and wonderful history of the Celtic world.
Big Nellie May. Now I'll tell ye the story of Big Nellie May. She took up the golf in a serious way. With her shiny new clubs and her big plastic bag, she could easily have passed for Jack Nicklaus in drag. With a toodle-lie-oodle-lie-oodle-lie. That's a wee toodle-oodle chorus. Would you like to try that, Colin? With a toodle-lie-oodle-lie-oodle-lie. Now Nellie was handicapped more than the rest. Her stroke was impaired by the size of her chest. Her overdevelopment proved her downfall. When she swung, they both swung and all missed a ball. Where to Well, Nellie decided they hampered her stroke, so she tethered them up with a big piece of rope. but they didn't like being tied up in a noose, and the very next stroke both rascals were loose. Well, in sheer desperation, she turned to the pro, who looked at poor Nell and said, well, I don't know, I've only seen two that look like yours do, and they were on a camel in Calder Bar Zoo. Well, this pointed remark at the poor girl's physique caused Nellie to lash out in a great fit of pique. Her blow caught the pro in his most cherished spot, and now he's got two just as big as she's got.
Everyday Celtic Ways brings you the mythology, traditions, and customs that have created a unique and personal culture that still affects those that are Celtic and those that just love the Celtic world. So many of our world's animals look so innocent, peaceful, but don't be fooled. Lurking in the dark shadows of their world lies criminals of the animal kingdom. The animals depicted in this video were not harmed in any way. They were afforded their rights under the law. All animals apprehended are innocent until proven guilty. From the files of CAK, we will look at the Scottish puffin and its unrelenting genocide of the googly-eyed smelt and the vast criminal organization created to keep their crimes hidden from the world. On the windswept coastline of Scotland lies a devious criminal, the puffin. Watching over his domain, he plots the death and genocide of the left-handed, googly-eyed smelt. Quickly he takes his prey, and in the confusion of the flock is able to conceal his booty in an underground lair. CAK has received footage of the elusive puffin, Smoky Eye, seen here receiving the innocent smelt bodies. God only knows what for. The wholesale slaughter of the endangered left-handed, googly-eyed smelt goes unchecked as the puffin, with its colorful feathers and shows of innocence, keep the authorities at bay with more pressing concerns. Other species of birds do what they can to deter the puffins as they perpetuate their existence on the bodies of the innocent left-handed googly-eyed smelts. So as the battle goes on, all we can do is hope that the authorities take notice before it is too late. Evil. You're under arrest, Smoky Eye. You'll never get me. Apprehended during the show, Fluffy McGee, Donnie the Butt Scooter, and Ma Dickens and her gang, Chainsaw, Killer, and Gus. Today's video brought to you by Smelt Feed, the finest pet food made from the delicious right-handed, googly-eyed smelt, in stores near you.
Dear sir, I write this note to you to tell you of my plight. And at the time of writing, I am not a pretty sight. My body is all black and blue, and my face a deathly grey. And I write this note to say why I am not at work today. While working on the 14th floor, some bricks I had to clear. Now to throw them down from such a height was not a good idea. The foreman wasn't very pleased, he is an awkward sod. And he said I'd have to cart them down the ladders in me hod. Now clearing all these bricks by hand, it was so very slow. So I hoisted up a barrel and secured a rope below. But in my haste to do the job, I was too blind to see. A barrel full of building bricks is heavier than me. So when I then untied the rope, the barrel dropped like lead. And clinging tightly to the rope, I started up instead. I shot up like a rocket, till to my dismay I found halfway up I met the bloody barrel coming down. The barrel broke my shoulder as to the ground it sped, and when I reached the top I banged the pulley with my head, still clinging tightly to the rope from this almighty blow, while the barrel spilled out half the bricks 14 floors below. Now when these bricks had fallen from the barrel to the floor, I then outweighed the barrel, so I started down once more, still clinging tightly to the rope, my body racked with pain. When halfway down I met the bloody barrel once again. Now the force of this collision halfway down the office block caused multiple abrasions and a nasty case of shock. Still clinging tightly to the rope, I sped towards the ground, and I landed on the broken bricks that were all scattered around. Now as I lay there groaning, I thought I'd passed the worst, but the barrel hit the pulley wheel, and then the bottom burst. A shower of bricks rained down on me, I hadn't got a hope. As I lay there bleeding on the ground, I let go the bloody rope. The barrel then being heavier, it started down once more, and landed right on top of me, where I lay upon the floor. It broke 3 ribs and my left arm, and I can only say, I hope you'll understand why I am not at work today.
Celtic Lardass of the Week showcases a different lardass person of Celtic heritage each week. Those who exemplify the give no shit attitude and have gained a lot of weight. They may come from our past or present, but rest assured they come from, well, some walks of life and legend. They are men, women, even old ladies, and some queens. You're not going to be a muscled up Celt in a fur kilt swinging a mighty sword, but you just might eat a 4'11" Welshwoman and a suffragette who knows jiu-jitsu. This week's Lardass is not real, and this is a parody. But his movies are legend. Lardass legends, though. Only prerequisites for this title is high cholesterol and lard acidness. Fat Bastard, a Celtic lardass. Hailing from Scotland, Fat Bastard serves Dr. Evil in his quest to destroy Austin Powers. Fat Bastard is famous for his foul temper, his evil monologues that culminate in intense flatulence, vulgarity, crude manners, and an unusual diet. He was bullied and mocked for his weight as a child, and his depression and loneliness turned to eating, creating a vicious cycle. He remains a reoccurring and formal pain in the ass to secret agent Austin Powers. This red-haired, immensely obese Scottish henchman turned semi-pro sumo wrestler served Dr. Evil in his quest to defeat Austin Powers and conquer the world. He is noted for frequently breaking wind and his unusual eating habits, namely a taste for babies. He tries to refuse Dr. Evil's money for his services in exchange for eating Mini-Me. He is quoted saying, "To Mini-Me, I'm bigger than you. I'm higher in the food chain. Get in my belly." Now, this cannibalistic feature of Fat Bastard shows he is not a man, but a savage beast that will eat anything in his path. At his present volcano lair, where he is to exchange the mojo for money. However, upon discovering Dr. Evil's smaller clone, Mini-Me, he develops a cannibalistic hunger for Mini-Me. Fat Bastard offers to give Dr. Evil the mojo and let him keep his money if the evil genius would just give Fat Bastard Mini-Me to eat. Mini-Me takes the mojo from Fat Bastard, avoiding being captured by the cannibal, forcing him to simply accept the money. He gleefully sings the Chili's Baby Back Ribs song when he taunts his small prey.
Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back ribs. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back ribs.
Excuse me.
Chili baby back ribs.
Fat Bastard has problems controlling his bowels, as evidenced by his constant remarks of turtle heads and skid marks. He extends a sort of self-pride about his stench, especially in regards to his flatulence and the leavings he produces for those performing his sumo laundry duties when participating in sumo matches. He wears a tartan mawashi, which could hopefully help disguise his skid marks. Later, Fat Bastard has a one-night stand with Felicity Shagwell, who was trying to get close enough to plant a tracking device on him, which she ends up inserting into his rectum. The Scotsman takes this as foreplay and proceeds to roll onto Felicity for another round of sex, nearly crushing her. Unfortunately, he ends up defecating the tracking device into a toilet in Paddington Station. Dr. Evil reveals that Felicity slept with Fat Bastard the night she tried to shag Austin. Fat Bastard mocks Felicity's sexual prowess, calling her crap, laughing maniacally, hurting Austin deeply. Now, after Austin and Felicity return in 1999, Fat Bastard attempts to kill them by disguising himself as a UPS delivery man and breaking into Austin's pad. However, Felicity easily disarms him and gives him a swift kick in the crotch for calling her crap in bed. He groans and grabs his crotch, yells, and passes out, causing an earthquake.
That's for calling me crap, you fatty.
A few years later, Fat Bastard quits working for Dr. Evil and tries going legit by becoming a sumo wrestler. He is skilled, but the mawashi causes his testicles to rub together and burn. He tries to lose weight by going on the zone diet, and he ends up in a fight with Austin. Later, he succeeds at losing the weight by going on the Subway diet, just like Jared, and ends up losing 180 pounds. Though this does leave him with a lot of excess skin and a neck that looks like a vagina. His words, not mine. Now, Fat Bastard may not be a badass, but he's my favorite lard ass. Obviously, this is a parody of my Celtic badass videos. However, if you haven't seen Austin Powers and you aren't easily offended, it is a hilarious movie trilogy. I suggest you see them. Yeah, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and Austin Powers, Gold Member. All right. Hope you enjoyed that.
Are you happy?
What kind of stupid ass question is that? I'm rich and I'm dead sexy. Oh, yeah.
Well, you didn't answer my question. Are you happy?
Of course I'm no happy. Look at me, I'm a big fat slob. I've got bigger titties than you do. I've got more chins than a Chinese phone book. I've not seen my willy in 2 years, which is long enough to declare legally dead. I can't stop eating. I eat because I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy because I eat. It's a vicious cycle. If you'll excuse me, there's someone I have to get in touch with and forgive. God. Sorry, I farted. It's a long road ahead.
I hope you all enjoyed today's podcast. Just a bit of light fun. Don't take it too seriously. I know people get offended very easily these days, but we need to get back to where we can just have good fun and not worry about it. So, I hope you all enjoyed it. And, as always, I'm going to play you one more song. Marshall Levenjosta. Bye for now.
Good evening, welcome to the show.
You know, one of the reasons why we were a little bit late in starting tonight is that on the way down here, we got caught behind a Sunday driver. Don't know if you've had that experience. You know, you come round the bend in the road, there's the wee Morris Minor, and the wee white head, and the hands up at the steering wheel. So we're going to sing about a Sunday driver in a rather crowded car. Okay, number one?
Yeah, smash it.
Good. Well, I've been a Sunday driver new for many's a happy year, and I've never had my Morris Minor out to second gear. I can drive at 15 miles an hour on motorway or track, with me wife up front beside me and her mother in the back. There was me and my daddy and my daddy's mammy and her sister's granny and 4 of her chums and Auntie Jean. In a crowd of 50 trippers, you can always pick me out. But ma don't blame me, I voted Tory, sticker on the boot. With my bunch of heather sticking in my radiator grill, and my stick-on transfer bullet holes and license for to kill. There was me and my daddy's mammy and her sister's granny and 4 of her chums and Auntie Peg. I've 100 plastic pennants for to tell you where I've been, and my steering wheel is clad in simulated leopard skin. Up front for the driving mirror hangs a plastic skeleton, and in the back a dog with eyes that flicker off and on. There's me and my daddy's mammy and her sister's granny and 4 of her chums and Auntie May. Always drive as though my foot was resting on the brake, and I weave about the road just so's you can't overtake. I can get you safe frustrated that you'll finish up in tears, and the sound of blaring motor horns is music to my ears. There's me and my daddy's mammy and her sister's granny and 4 of her chums and Auntie Liz. Always Liz. She comes next. Now if you wonder how these weekly trips I can afford, it's because I'm on a stipend from the Scottish Tourist Board. You're supposed to enjoy the scenery, the finest of its kind, and that is why I have a convoy following behind. There's me and my daddy's mammy and her sister's granny and 4 of her chums and Auntie Rose. There's just no way of escaping me, no matter how you seek, for the simple fact that I'm a traffic warden through the week. I'm boosting my efficiency, and here's my master plan. I'm saving up my pennies for to buy a caravan. There's me and my daddy's mammy and her sister's granny and 4 of her chums and Auntie Gertrude. There's me and my daddy's mammy and her sister's granny and 4 of her chums. You're going too fast!
Hey, I've forgotten my drum.
Come back in a minute.
Actually, he hasn't been feeling himself all week. What is he? I'll get him back. I will go, when the fighting is over to the land of MacLeod.
That's my bloody song.